So we'll continue in the front school, and our number one speaker will be Chase Vega. And the material he'll read for us is taken from Genesis chapter 39, verse 1 through 16. Let's give our attention to Chase, please.
As for Joseph, he was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, a court official of Pharaoh, the chief of the bodyguard, and Egyptian, got to buy him from the hand of the Ishmaelites who had brought him down there. But Jehovah proved to be with Joseph, so that he turned out a successful man and came to be over the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master got to see that Jehovah was with him, and that everything he was doing, Jehovah was making turn out successful in his hand. And Joseph kept finding favor in his eyes and waited upon him continually, so that he appointed him over his house. And all that was his he gave into his hand. And it followed that from the time he appointed him over his house and in charge of all that was his, in charge of all that was his, Jehovah kept blessing the house of the Egyptian due to Joseph, and Jehovah's blessing came to be upon all that he had in the house and in the field. Finally, he left everything that was his in Joseph's hand, and he did not know what was with him at all except the bread he was eating. Moreover, Joseph grew to be beautiful in form and beautiful in appearance. Now, after these things, it came about that the wife of his master began to raise her eyes toward Joseph and say, "Lie down with me." But he would refuse and would say to his master's wife, "Here my master does not know what is with me in the house, and everything he has given into my hand. There is no one greater in this house than I am. He is not withheld from anything at all except you, because you are his wife. So how can I commit this great badness and actually sin against God?" So it turned out, as she spoke to Joseph day after day, he never listened to her to lie alongside her, to continue with her. But it happened that on this day, as other days, he went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there in the house. Then she grabbed hold of him by his garment, saying, "Lie down with me." But he left his garment in her hand and took to flight and went on outside. So it occurred that as soon as she saw that he had left, and that he might, his garment in her hand, and that he might flee outside, she began to cry out at the top, to the men of her house, and to say to them, "Look, he brought to us a man, a Hebrew, to make us a laughingstock. He came to me to lie down with me, but I began to cry out at the top of my voice, and it followed that as soon as he heard that I raised my voice and began crying out, he then left his garment beside me and took to flight and went on outside." After that, she kept his garment laid up beside her until his master came to his house.
Way to go, Chase.